Hey, this is David Miller with the Miller Group of Keller Williams Realty. I'm here to help you get real estate smart. All right, summer's done, school's back in session. We got about 4 more months until the end of the year. What a great time for me to share with you where I feel real estate's going to end up in Metro Orlando by the end of 2023. Hold tight, I'll be right back. All right, let's talk about some of the predictions I did at the beginning of the year. Number one, I said that inventory of homes would stay relatively low. And that has happened. It's gone up a little bit, it's gone down a little bit, and that's really determined or dictated by the number of buyers in the marketplace. So the number of buyers in the marketplace is determined by the interest rate. So the interest rates have been sort of bouncing. Right now they're in the low 7s. So remember, the higher the interest rate is, the less affordable real estate is going to be. And the less affordable real estate is, the less buyers you have in the marketplace. So we've been seeing that. When the rates did come down a little bit, we had a lot more buyers in the marketplace. When we had more buyers in the marketplace, that ate away at the inventory, and inventory was going down. But when the rate started to go back up into the 7s, the highest in 22 years, as they say, then we started to see less buyers in the marketplace, which means less homes were being sold. Remember last month, 30% less homes were being sold, and that means the inventory started going up. So what do I expect the rest of the year? So as I mentioned at the beginning of the year, I expected interest rates to drop by the end of this year or the beginning of 2024. Now, I said there was 2 reasons that was going to happen. Either there was a recession that was going to take place, which would have them drop the rates, or I mentioned that inflation would be dropping as well. So one of those 2 has happened. Inflation has dropped. However, rates have not gone down, and there has not been a recession. So why haven't they gone down? Well, looking at all the data on unemployment, people working, the GDP, all that stuff those economic people look at, it's still too strong. The Fed doesn't want to do what it did in the 70s, where they started to lower the rates, and then they did it too early, and then bam, we got right back into it. So they're holding tight. They're sending signals to the market that they're going to hold tight on this here. So I don't expect the rates to drop until 2024, maybe even 2025, okay? So it's not as soon as I thought, and that's because we're still in that situation economically where there's still a lot of activity. It's not like the market's crashing, as in not the real estate market, but the economic market. So it's still too strong, and they're just going to keep it where it is for right now. Eventually, I do feel that we probably, maybe, kind of might have a recession, probably the end of this year or maybe even the beginning of next year. When that happens, I think we might see some movement, but time will tell. So inventory is going to continue to creep up because we're getting into the fall season, which means there's less buyers out there. If there's less buyers, less people that are going to be purchasing a house, and inventory is going to start scaling up. From a pricing perspective, that will affect pricing. Last month it went down just a little bit. Next week the new stats will come out. I'll give you an update about that. But I think pricing is going to sort of stabilize, and it's all determined on the supply and demand. So remember that the demand is being controlled by the interest rate. The interest rate depends on what's going on in the economy and what's going on the 10-year bond. So those are my predictions for the end of 2023. So I hope that you are now real estate smart.